Hi everyone, welcome back. As you see, I polished our code a little bit since our last video, which was about reading cells from our budget spreadsheet. So in particular, we were accessing this summary sheet and reading the title. And today we're going to continue building this part of our function. So this is where we validate the request body. For example, we are checking if the request has a body and also an action field inside the body and a type field inside the action. And today we're gonna take a step further and parse the card name and get the transaction arguments. So let me show you again. In our first video, I showed you this little project of mine, which is the command line interface version of what we are doing in this series. So as you see, it starts with an amount and then the description and then the category. And optionally, you can specify the date as the first argument. So let's go back. And here, I'm going to create a new function named parse transaction, which will accept a card name argument and return array. So I'm writing Python syntax here. Just a second. Alright, and I'll have to fix that. Now, before building this function, I just want to add another if statement here. And inside this statement, I want to check the type of the event. So inside this action, there's a type field. Let me just show you from the example JSON file. Under action, there's the event type. So I only want to take an action if this is a card creation event. So I'm going to write if request body action type is equal to create card. Rather, if not equal to create card, then I'm going to log not a card creation event. Let's show the type here. And then return our response. 204 this time. So if you're wondering what's going on with this status codes, I'm sure most of you know about them, but let me show you real quick. So the 400 is a bad request, and the 204 is here, no content. I mean by this that if you make this request, I have nothing to offer you. So this is complaining about the equal to operator. And now that we have made sure we got the right type of request, let's add a command here. Now we can go ahead and call this function, parse transaction function. Let transaction parse transaction. And as an argument, we're going to pass the card name from the request body. So request body action data card name. And now the only thing we have to do is build this function here. So first, let's split this string into its components. So let args equal to card name split, use comma for separator, and then let's check the length. So there should be either 3 or 4 arguments. Args length is equal to 3 or args length is equal to 4. Actually, let me inverse that. Print a warning and return null, I guess. And if the length of the arguments is 3. Then we have to insert the date, today in particular, as the first argument. So let's first print a console log. So we're assigning today if there are only 3 arguments. And then args unshift. This function lets you insert or prepend an array. So new date to ISO string split t 0. So this last part gets the date field only. This actually has the hour, minute, second, so on. But we're only interested in the day, month, and year. And finally, return args map s trim. So delete that. And that's it. Now let me open up a terminal and serve the functions. Okay, now let me make a post request using our script. Python post py local transaction Trello. So I'm expecting to see this log here, not a card creation event, because this Trello JSON file does not include an event of type card create. So it's actually a vote on card event. That's why I expect to see this. So let's go ahead and try. Oh, actually we got a different error than expected. So let me check. Alright, I made an error here. This should be not equals. So let me try once more. Alright, now we see it, not a card creation event. So let's change the type of the event manually. Create card. And now we should... Okay, now we see this error here. There are invalid number of fields in transaction because let me search for card. Alright, here it is. So the name is webhooks, and when our split function is executed here, so this one, it will only return one argument. If we change this 1, 2, 3, and there are now 4 elements here, now we should get a different response. Again, it says invalid number of fields. Let's print that out. So let me log the number of arguments as well. So it's 4. Why does it do that? Oh, I see it now. This is not correct. And n is missing here. So, alright, now we see no errors. Let me remove those logs. So finally, let me log this transaction variable and see. So we see our 4 arguments. So we can get the 4 elements of our transaction. In the next video, we're going to use these values to build our transaction entry, and let's go to our transaction page. Each one will correspond to a cell in this row. And that's it for now. See you in the next video. Take care.